All right, so we reviewed just now writing our equations of lines. So parallel lines, does anyone know what those are? Yeah, like this. Okay, like train tracks. So they are never going to touch. They will never intersect like train tracks. Does anyone know what perpendicular lines are? Have you heard of that one? Okay, so they meet at a right angle, which we put a little like box in there for a right angle. Do you know how many degrees that is? 90, like a corner. Perfect. Okay, good. I love it. Parallel lines have the same slope, which makes sense. If they're going to like go up and over the same amount each time, then they're not going to run into each other. That usually goes well. Everyone can remember that. Slope of three, slope of three. It's the exact same, you know? Perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite. And what I mean by that is if it's positive, you make it negative. If it's negative, you make it positive. Opposite, reciprocal. And by that, I mean you flip it. So a 2/3 would become a 3/2. Do you understand what I'm saying by flip it? Like a 4/5 would become a 5/4. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now that gets dicey when it's a whole number. What do you get if you flip 7? If you flip a 7, or like any whole number, right? No, it would become a 1/7. So for example, if you flip 2, if you reciprocate 2, what would it be? A 1/2. Because any number is over 1. So it'd be 1 over whatever. Okay. So let's write two linear equations where the lines would be parallel. I'm just letting you guys make it up. Can you give me a single digit number? I don't care. Well, 3x plus, give me another single digit. 13. There we go. Now, if you want it to be parallel, you need to have the same slope. So it would need to be y equals 3x, but then something else, because you need it to start in a different place. So give me a different little number. Yeah, plus 17. So they would run alongside each other. They'd both be up 3/1, up 3/1, but they start in two different places. If you made this number the same, they'd literally be on top of each other, like the exact same line. We don't want that. We just want them to run along next to each other. All right, let's write linear equations where they would be perpendicular. So y equals, I want this to be a fraction so you can see how we flip it. So let's not put a 1 in there because that kind of did confuse you guys. Perfect. 2/5x plus just a little number. We're just making it up. It doesn't really matter. 4. Perfect. It doesn't matter. We're just inventing something. So if we want it to be perpendicular, you're going to take this and make it opposite. So right now it's positive. We're going to make it good, negative 5/2x. And then just a different number. Again, we're just making this up, like 8. Again, like pick little numbers. Right? Do you see how it works? Parallel means the same. Perpendicular means opposite reciprocal. All right, applying your knowledge. That means actually doing problems. What is the slope of a line perpendicular to line W? This is line W. What is the slope of a line parallel? Well, first we have to figure out what on earth is the slope of this line. So can you count the little boxes, how much up and over it goes? It goes up 3/1. So the slope of this line is 3. Or if you write 3/1, that's fantastic too. In fact, let's do that. So the parallel would be 3/1. It's the same. Whatever this is, that's what we want. Good. Perpendicular. It's positive. We're going to make it negative. And then reciprocal means you flip it over. So negative 1/3. So that's kind of the argument for leaving the 1 in there. All right. Now I'm going to use the calculator a good bit for these. Which equation of the following equations, so we're going to see out of these 3, it might be 1, it might be 2, it might be all 3 of them, is perpendicular to this line? Now, the slope of this line is 3. So what's the perpendicular slope? I wish it was something other than 3. Well, it's negative. This is 3 over, we just did it, guys. Negative 1/3. That's what we're looking for. That's the perpendicular slope. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to type each of these in, and we're going to see if it has a negative 1/3 slope. Using words like up, down, left, and right, can you tell me what negative 1/3 slope would do? Words like up, down, left, right, what should it do? Down 1 over 3. All right, so let me type in the first one. Does that go down 1/3? Nah, it looks like it's going down. I've got a pretty point right there, and then I've got another one right here. Looks like it goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like over 5. Okay, so whoops. So do we want that one? No. Okay, so not that one. All right, let me type in the next one. We're just testing them one at a time. All right, so let me type in that one. Negative x, you just have to know what you're looking for. Minus 3y equals 6. Let's see, does that look like that goes down 1 over 3?
Yes.
Yeah, do you see how like starting there and then going to there, down 1 over 3? All right, so we do want that one. Now we're going to test the last one. Hold on, let me stop this pass real quick. And then we'll maybe do like 1 or 2 on the back end. You guys are being good, so I'll give you a brain break. All right, so let's go back. Let me change this one. 12x minus 4y equals 8. Does that go down 1 over 3? No, that doesn't even go down. That goes up. So definitely not that one. So we found what slope we wanted, and then we just checked them, and it does move. All right. We're going to review our equations of our lines, and I'll do this first one, and then I'll give you guys a brain break. Just be quiet with me through this. Slope-intercept form, that is good old y equals mx plus b. Lovely. Y equals mx plus b. Point slope is that one that we reviewed. We did 5 problems. I did 1 for you, and then you guys each did 1 of the 4 with your group. Y minus y1 equals m. Good. Got that. That's nice. That's your recipe. I have to tell you what, in comparison to other groups I've had, you guys talk a lot, but you remember stuff from one block to the next. And we even had a long weekend. I'm like, they remember things. Good job, guys. Fantastic. All right, so we'll do this one, then I'll give you a break. So write the slope-intercept form of the equation perpendicular to this one. What is the slope of this line? Negative 3 over 2. But it says perpendicular, so off to the side here, I'm going to write m equals. What is the slope? And positive or negative? Positive. Some people make them all negative, but it's opposite. So if this is negative, we want it to be positive. Now listen to me. That usually goes well. Here's where it kind of goes sideways. Is people think that they need to use any more information in this line. You don't, you're done with it. So here's what I always tell everybody. Scribble it out. Once you figure out what slope you want, you don't want that anymore. In fact, I usually try to make the y-intercept something outrageous like 128 so people know not to use that again. You don't want this. This is the only thing you needed from it. Here's your ingredients. Throw it into your recipe, just like we did in the warm-up. It's going to be y minus what?
Plus 2.
Good. Plus 2 equals 2. Good. Parentheses. X. Nice job. And then you have 2 steps of work. You just have to memorize that recipe. It sounds like a bunch of you have already. Nice job. Distribute. Y plus 2 equals, and I told you a couple of you this when I was coming around. Write like a typewriter, like start on the left and go every time, because when you start writing backwards, it's going to mess you up a little bit. All right, distribute. That would be 2/3 x minus, oh my gosh, I don't know what 2/3 times 6 is. What should I probably do? Use the calculator, 2/3 times 6. But can I show you a trick? What is 2 times 6? 12 divided by 3. But you can put it in the calculator. You can put it in the calculator. And then what's your last step? Good. Nice job. Now be careful because this is all negative, but you guys did well with this on the warm-up. Y equals 2/3 x minus 4 and minus 2. Good job. Perfect. All right, so number 3. Go ahead and close your computer. Write the slope-intercept form of equation that is what? I'm making sure you're reading. Parallel. What does that mean?
They don't
What do you mean about the slope?
They have the same.
Guys, what does parallel slopes mean?
Same slope.
I was asking them because they weren't listening to me. Same slope. So what is the slope of this line right here?
-3.
So off to the side, I'm going to write slope is -3. And then my suggestion to you is scribble that out.
Wait.
I also try to make the y-intercept something really weird like 500 so that you know not to use it. Okay. But the only thing you need out of that is the slope. You don't need anything else. Now look it. Here are your ingredients. You have this point -4, 8, and your slope, put it into your recipe. It will be y minus which one of those numbers? 8. Good. Equals. Good. Perfect. X plus 4 because it's minus -4. Gosh, you guys got on board with that really quick. That was nice. All right, keep on going. I'm not going to talk through this because I don't want to put you all to sleep. Distribute and get the y by itself, and let's just all make sure we ended up with the same thing because you guys did well on the warm-up with this. So let's just keep it going, make sure we all get the same answer. I got y equals -3x minus 4. Can anyone confirm they got the same thing? Okay. Because I'm a human being, I make mistakes too, so we're checking each other. All right. Number 3. Or did that go okay for everybody? I don't want to like rush you. Or if you made a mistake with a negative sign, you found it. Good job. All right, number 3. Write slope-intercept form with a line that is parallel. Okay, make sure you're reading. I mean, I've made it bold and underlined. Parallel to this line and goes through -5, 1. Parallel means what kinds of slopes? Same. However, you can't just look at this and see what the slope is. No, it's not. Made it a little bit harder. You have to get y by itself. So let's review this. We did this last unit. I'm going to minus the 10x over. I'm just sliding that. Do you remember this? This wasn't that long ago. It was in the last unit. You're going to minus the 10x over. That's going to give you -5y equals, and you need to put it in the right order. Good. -10x plus 150. It was only like a week ago that we were in unit 2. Do you remember this? Rearranging it? Good. You're going to divide everything by -5. If it's not set up in the format where you can look at it and just go, oh, that's the slope, then you have work to do. Sorry, you'll be okay. Y equals, oh, why is it +2?
Because it's negative.
Negative and negative. Now, you can work this out if you want, but does it really even matter? No. The whole point is, what's the slope of this?
2.
The slope is 2. So here's what you do. Off to the side, you write slope is 2. And then what did I tell you to do with this? Scribble it out so that you don't use it anymore. The most common mistake is people go back and use like the 150 or something. You don't need those numbers. Scribble it all out. These are your ingredients. Put them into your recipe. It'll be y minus 1, good. 2 parentheses, x plus 5, because it's minus negative, and then just do your 2 steps of work. So this would give you y minus 1 equals what? What'd you get? 2x plus 10. Oops, I can write.
Y equals 2x plus 11.
Good. All right, plus 1. So it'll be y equals 2x plus 11. Good job. Now, these last ones are no work. And this is what we're going to practice our Quizlet on in a second. But you have to remember that little acronym I gave you. Do you remember HOI VUX? Review it real quick. Horizontal has what kind of slope? 0. And it's y equals something. Vertical, undefined, and it's x equals something. Okay? So look. This is so easy, but it's also hard because you have to remember which one's which. Now look, do you see how it says parallel? So that means if this one's y equals, we also want y equals. Parallel means the same. So if this one's y equals a number, we want y equals a number. Now look at your point. Which one of these numbers is the y number? 5. X then y. So look at this one. Do you see how it says parallel? That means the same, right? So if this one is x equals whatever, we also want x equals. And good, that's the -2. Now, when it says perpendicular, that's the opposite. So look, see how it says perpendicular? And this is y equals? Good, that means we want x equals. You want the opposite. So if that's y equals, we want x equals. And what is the x number on our 1? Good. And then the last one, it says perpendicular. That's the opposite. So if this is x equals, we want y equals, and it's -7.